So in Minecraft, you can change your FOV, or field of view. Basically what it does is that it controls how much of the stuff around you can see at once without moving your camera. Now I'm going to be going over some of these FOVs, and going over their advantages and downsides. Now first of all, let's start from the middle. Let's start from normal FOV. I'm pretty sure this is the default FOV, and it's somewhere in the middle between low and high FOV, although I feel like it's more towards the low side. Now because of this FOV has some advantages from both sides. There aren't really that many downsides or upsides to this, but one of the main advantages is that it's semi-easy to aim with both the bow and a sword. And you can also see your enemies pretty clearly, even if you have speed. Now let's go to some of the lower FOVs. So if you play on 60 to 70 FOV, you're most likely a PvPer, as I don't really see where this would be useful in survival. The main advantage of this is that it's easier to aim, as enemies look bigger on your screen. Also, if you use speed in something like boxing duels, it won't completely stretch out your screen and make it unplayable. Now let's go to 30 FOV. I feel like there's a very small percentage of players that actually use this in game, and that's probably for a good reason. Now one of the main advantages of this FOV is that if you have poor eyesight, you can see stuff better because it's bigger on your screen. Now that's pretty much where the advantages end, as it's pretty much impossible to aim with a bow or with a sword because you just have to turn so much that if you move your mouse like a centimeter, everything that you just saw on your screen is just gone off your screen. So aiming is just a pain. Now I guess one of the other reasons to use this FOV is if you don't feel like pressing your zoom key, or if you don't feel like installing Optifine to get the zoom, and you can just be in permanent zoom. Now let's go towards some of the higher FOVs. So 90 FOV is something that I see a lot of people use. It's in between the highest FOV and normal FOV, which is probably why a lot of people use it. Also, I've seen a lot of YouTubers use this FOV, which is probably a reason as to why so many people use this. Now, one of the main advantages of this FOV is that aiming is pretty easy as targets aren't too small, and aiming is mainly easier with the bow compared to lower FOVs, as you don't have to aim as far ahead. Also, if you do have speed, it isn't too bad as it would be on some really high FOVs. Now, another one of the advantages of this FOV is if an enemy is approaching you from, for example, the left or the right, like from any of your sides actually, there's a higher chance you see them because your field of view is higher. You can see more stuff on your screen at once. Now let's go to Quake Pro. Now this is the FOV that you'll probably see if you search up for recent Minecraft videos on YouTube. This FOV is usually coupled with a really high sensitivity and someone who just shakes their mouse around while PvPing. I feel like it was also more common in like old videos compared to newer ones. Now I guess one of the practical applications of this is that you can see a lot of stuff at once, so it's way easier to like notice enemies, I guess. But then it kind of backfires because enemies are so small on your screen that they're like a speck of dust. Another huge downside of this FOV is that if I drink speed 2, I can barely see anything while sprinting. Like, what is this? Like, if I made a video with this FOV, I think the quality would be questionable because my screen would just be constantly morphing and just be completely deformed to just spin around every time I tried to hit someone. But I guess everyone has their own preferences. So the next FOV I'm going to be going over is 20,070. So basically, when you play with this FOV, I'm not I guess it turns your screen upside down and also inverts your mouse. And apparently when I'm in water, my FOV is just normal. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. I don't have the technical explanation for this. But I guess this does have some advantages when it comes to like water combat. You know how like eyes actually perceive things upside down, but your brain turns them in the right direction? Yeah, well I guess one of the practical applications of this would be if your brain hasn't like learned to turn stuff upside down, you know, if you're like a newborn baby. So I guess this would be pretty useful for that. Now one of the main disadvantages of this is that it's slightly hard to see where you are and where enemies are because it's pretty zoomed in too. I guess it's leaning towards more of the lower FOVs, even though it is higher, so I'm not exactly sure how that works. But so the next FOV I'm going to be going over is 20,070 FOV. Now I'm not really sure what's going on here, but my screen seems to be spinning rapidly every time I try to move. This is very headache inducing and I'm not sure why you would use this. Now I guess one of the upsides of this FOV would be if you want to make your game more entertaining. I guess this would be the FOV for you. So anyway, let's try this FOV out on Hypixel. I'm not exactly sure why everything is blue. or if that even has to do with my FOV, but I guess it somehow corrupts some of the textures. Okay, so it appears that I'm upside down again. Not exactly sure why. I don't think I was just upside down like 2 seconds ago, but yeah, I guess that's a thing. Okay, so I'm having slight issues seeing. Also, the map appears to have gone completely dark, and I don't know where the chest is. Oh, okay. This is already going. What the heck is going on? It appears that someone is killing me, and okay, so I'm not exactly sure why the map has turned completely black and blue. I guess it's one of the upsides if you want to make your game look funky. Let's see if the map is going to turn black again. Hopefully it isn't, because if it is, then I'm going to have slight issues seeing where the chests are. Or maybe I'm just going to have to memorize where the chests are. Okay, I seem to have opened the chest. Everything is good. Alright. I'm walking in the wrong direction. Okay, so also if you walk forwards, you walk backwards. So I guess that's a thing also. So I've died. And now everything is black. Also, that thing is like pulsing orange. I'm not exactly sure what's going on over there, but I don't know. I kind of like the vibes of this pack, you know. It gives everything a very aesthetically pleasing look. Okay, so let's set my FOV back to normal. This is nowhere near as nice as that FOV I just played on. If I had to rank FOVs, I feel like 20,070,000 FOV would definitely be in my top 3. If you liked this video, please like, and also if you want to see more stuff like this, if you want to torture yourself even more, subscribe. Also, that wasn't a question. You don't have a choice.